This is episode 23 of Post Production Podcast. Hello and welcome all you amazing people out there to the Post Production Podcast. Thank you for joining us as we talk about the latest in movies and TV. I'm your host, Mr. Drew, and with me, of course, is my co-host, Adam.
Yes, I'm back. I'm here.
You are here.
I am.
Present.
Yes,
Counted
I'm present.
for.
Here.
I can check that box. Adam,
perfect. Thank
present.
you. Awesome.
There we go. Attendance. Bueller. You get that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, all right, good.
That's from some 80s movie. I don't know.
Some 80s. Some secret thing, cult thing.
I wasn't supposed to answer, though, right?
Huh?
I wasn't supposed to answer.
No, it's supposed to be quiet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, I did that correctly.
There we go.
See, there's that culture.
So, what are we going to talk about today, Mr. Adam?
We're going to be talking about, a couple things. First of all, the new Infinity War trailer dropped, and the internet's gone crazy again.
Nerdgasm.
Exactly. Whatever that is. And then we kind of prepared ourselves for Pacific Rim Uprising next week by watching or rewatching for you, watching for the first time for me, the original Pacific Rim 2013. And so we're going to talk about that a little bit.
So Marvel dropped their, the final Infinity War trailer.
Yeah, the final Infinity War trailer.
Going bonkers for it.
Yeah. But they dropped it. I mean, it's over a month out. Yeah, it makes sense. Perfect timing. And I think it didn't give away too much. I think it gave us even more to kind of sink our teeth into. And I'm just excited. I mean, I was already the maximum amount of excited. And so it just kind of
over maximum excited.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. But yeah, I mean,
you had a reserve of maximum excited
they already
that you didn't know that you had, and now that's full.
They already had my money. They already had my money from the get-go. So I mean, I'm just so hyped right now. And it's funny because I knew that with the final trailers, and you can kind of get this with any sort of big blockbuster movie, is like they released the tickets. Like the tickets go on sale as soon as they drop the trailer. So I knew that, and I was at work the morning that the trailer was going to drop. When I got home, I realized that it dropped, and I realized that the tickets dropped as well. So before I even saw the trailer, I went on Fandango and got the tickets. But yeah, what did you think of the trailer?
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was really good how they did it, because they didn't what was it? The week before, Entertainment Weekly did all their covers.
Like a pretty in-depth kind of interview, I guess.
But I mean, they did drop that little spoiler that the reason they're in Wakanda is to hide Vision.
Yeah.
Right. And his stone that's in his noggin. So all they really did in this kind of trailer was they showed us more of everyone's suits, the Iron Man suit, the interesting Iron Man suit that he's wearing. And then they kind of showed us more of them actually going to Wakanda and why they're there. So they really didn't kind of show us anything more than what we were expecting that we didn't already know. So I thought it was really good how they did it.
Yeah, they didn't give away too much. I think we're going to see a lot of what I was happy about is they gave us a little bit of the team dynamic. Like they showed us, Spider-Man and Doctor Strange meeting. They showed us Gamora and Tony Stark talking, and then they showed us Tony Stark, Spider-Man, and Star-Lord. That was so
brilliant.
Great. Yeah, so great. I'm so excited for that. For that scene.
Okay, I like your plan. It's good. Only it sucks. So I should do it.
So good. I can't wait for their dynamic, and it's great because it's a Marvel movie. It's a Marvel movie, so it's going to be funny at times. But this is going to be the most serious Marvel movie by far. I think it's just going to be. I mean, okay, so how many people do you think are going to die? Do you think all of them are going to die? Do you think some?
No, I think a good portion of them are going to die. I would say at least 3 are going to die. I think 3 is a safe bet. But I mean, this is going to be this whole crossover thing, which it's going to turn into something different.
Yeah.
I was watching something earlier today, which I thought was actually really funny, because it's going to be an interesting kind of take on comic book people they're all in on this. They're just nerding out and they're just through the roof excited. Yeah. And then your regular moviegoers that have been following all of these Marvel movies, but they haven't read a single comic book.
Yeah.
All they know is all these characters that they've kind of gone through and watched. And then how the deaths in this movie are going to affect them.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Because they already said that they really should put aside a little like comfort place with pillows and blankets for all the nerds to just kind of recover when they're done watching the movie, because they're just going to be like, you know, catatonic, holding their blanket, sucking their thumb, asking for mommy, because they're going to be so shell shocked from what they're going to watch. But I think it's going to be, I think it's going to be a fun thing. And I will agree with one person in this regard, is that we've been watching all these characters. There's no need you don't have to ramp up anything in this movie. You can just start it and just hit us with everything and just go.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I totally agree. I think that's the way they should do it. I mean, the only thing we have to like really get clear on is kind of how everyone gets to the places they're at. Like, how do the Guardians actually get there? You know, I mean, I think we know from Thor, you know, but this is all going to be, it's just going to, you know, that's one of the main things. And then also we have the fact that we have Thanos, and we're going to be diving into his kind of backstory. And this is going to be a very Thanos heavy movie. It's almost like he is the main character in this movie, is what the directors have said.
I hope that that's how it is, because I think that's going to be brilliant.
It's like, oh my gosh,
here's your villain, and let's this is the villain movie.
Yeah.
And then now we have all these other people that you already know who they are.
Yeah.
You know what they do. And how they're going to interact with this villain.
And I can just imagine kind of the movie going, and it's starting off, and it'll probably be a very, it'll follow Thanos and kind of his journey to get these Infinity Stones. And I think you'll see him interact with characters and do different things that make you really scared for the moment that he meets our favorite characters.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to see him do some terrible things, and we're not even going to want him anywhere near the Avengers, because
and it looks like we're getting some interesting backstory, because we see a little baby Gamora.
Oh my gosh.
Or Kitty Gamora.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah. Like,
you know, so
yeah. I love that they did that. I was not expecting that to be in the trailer, but as soon as I saw that, I was ready. I was so excited, because that's always been a really interesting storyline to me. Is like even though we have Gamora and Nebula, the daughters of Thanos, like, they're so connected to Thanos, and we do get a lot more talk about him than any other movie with Gamora, but still we haven't dived into that relationship.
Right. There's basically there's just a very small kind of tidbit that we've gotten. And I thought it was really neat how you see this tiny little green hand clutching the pinky of Thanos, and it's the same pinky that Captain America is struggling to force back. He's good.
But Captain America doing that, and like Thanos is like, why is this guy? I mean, this guy's trying really hard. I'm using I'm
just kind of leaning on him.
But whatever, I'll give that to him. Whatever.
Yeah, this is gonna be so good.
I'm so excited. I'm very happy with how it looks. I think it looks fantastic. That last scene with Spider-Man and Doctor Strange. It was really funny, really great. And then you see that scene of him like swinging through all the debris. And I'm like, I love Spider-Man Homecoming. I love Tom Holland. And that just made me a million times more excited to see him again. I can't wait for this movie. But I mean, other than that, I don't think there's a whole lot to the new trailer. I think it's just a lot more eye candy, a lot more things to get you excited, to get your taste buds kind of going. So I'm just more excited than ever.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yeah, if I have time. I'm so busy.
So okay, that's about it for the Infinity War trailer. I think that's about it.
Are we watching it in IMAX? What are we watching it in? Big screen?
We're watching it in 3D. No, we're not. I'm never gonna watch a 3D movie.
Ever again?
Yeah, no.
This is a waste of money.
Well, actually, the last 3D IMAX movie that I saw was Doctor Strange, and that was actually so well done. That was one of the only movies that I was like, yes, you definitely should watch this in 3D. Every other movie, it's so unnecessary. This might be another one that might be really good in 3D, but at least for the first time,
I don't want to be distracted.
At least for the first time, like you need to see it in 2D because you need to see it. You just need to experience the movie.
Yeah.
And then you can go back and see,
the 3D. Eye candy and stuff like that. Yeah.
But anyway.
So, all right.
Yeah.
Month away. Can't wait.
That's it. I mean,
wonder how many TV spots are going to drop between now and then. Probably like a dozen.
It is kind of crazy, though.
Yeah.
It is kind of crazy that, like, we're finally here. Like, it's a month away. You know, remember in 2008 when there was Iron Man and Iron Man alone? Like, it's just crazy how far everything's come. It's only 10 years. 10 years, and we've gotten, like...
What, 20? Almost 20 movies?
Like 20 movies almost.
That's...
So
churning them out. Go Marvel.
Yeah. And then it's just going to get even better from here, so I'm excited for that. Anything about how do you feel about Hawkeye and Ant-Man not being in the trailers or anything like that? What do you think about that? Because people are kind of freaking out about, even though like you would never think that people would freak out about Hawkeye not being in there, like people are.
Well, either, I mean, in what the age in the Ultron Avengers movie.
Well, he was in Age of Ultron, and then he was.
But he was like pretty much out the door after on that one. You know, he was like ready to like hang out and just chill with his family.
And then Civil War, he kind of came back. He kind of came back for that. So I don't know. I think we know he's definitely in it because he was in kind of that. I think it was EW or something like that. Some other magazine where they did a whole spread, and you see him, and you see his new haircut and stuff. So he's definitely going to be in it. He's just not in any of the trailers.
He might be one of the early deaths.
I think he might be, yeah.
Although, I mean, we haven't seen anything with Ant-Man. He's going to be in it. We don't know in what capacity.
He's going to be in it, but also he has a movie coming out in a few months,
he has Ant-Man and Wasp. So,
exactly.
You know, which is probably going to be, it has to be after. So he's going to live.
But does it, though? That's what people are kind of wondering. It's
I'm assuming, yeah.
Because it's all kind of been chronological, but also... I mean, The Guardian... It's funny because this movie takes place 2 years after Civil War.
Mm-hmm.
And also, it takes place about 5 years after Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Because there's only about 6 months in between Guardians 1 and 2. Even though they're years apart, for us, for the real world.
Right.
In the storyline, they only take place 6 months apart. So now... 5 years after that, and we're here. So it's going to be really interesting. Like,
but I don't think they would kill off Ant-Man in Infinity War, and then have him come back.
No, I'm not saying that. Yeah. No, I'm not saying that.
Yeah,
but I'm just saying, like, to what capacity is he even going to be in it? Because
probably a cameo.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to have a huge role.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
To be explored.
Exactly. But that's about it for Infinity War. I mean, anything else?
No, I mean, we can talk for hours, probably.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just a trailer.
It's just a trailer. I mean, imagine when that movie comes out, 3-hour podcast, you know?
Yeah. We'll do it in 6 parts.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we can record one day for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Okay, so moving on.
So you finally saw Pacific Rim.
We did. I mean, I did. Yes, I did.
Impressions?
It was good. I was really happy with it, actually. I was kind of surprised that I hadn't seen it before. But I mean, I'd only heard good things before watching it. So now leading up to Pacific Rim 2, Pacific Rim Uprising, I'm glad I saw it because I think it got me actually excited for Pacific Rim Uprising. Mm-hmm. You know, now that I actually did see it, and I'm wondering how we even got to this place where the kaiju are coming back, right? So anyway, Pacific Rim 2013, directed by Guillermo del Toro, who, as we know now, just won Best Director at the Oscars. He's done a bunch of amazing movies, Pan's Labyrinth, Hellboy, all of that. And what impresses me the most about him is that he can go from Pacific Rim, this giant robot monster movie, to one of the best movies of the year, if not the best movie of the year, The Shape of Water. But I love that. And just shows how dynamic he is as a director. And when he likes a story, like he really goes in on it. And that really shows, and that's really evident because, like I was saying to you before, like this could have been a really dumb movie.
It could have been a horrible movie.
And there are a bunch of horrible movies that are giant robot monster movies.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that. It was actually very good and very well constructed. We have Idris Elba in there, who's great. I will say that some of the acting from some of the actors, like I think his name,
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam. Oh, that was rough. I was watching him like, why are you starring in this? But he was okay for what it was. He was okay. Yeah. I could forgive him.
I've seen him in a couple of different things now.
Is he better now?
And he just kind of, he has this, okay. You know, this might trigger some people, but I look at him like I look at Samuel L. Jackson, right? Like Samuel L. Jackson is this same character in pretty much every movie.
Kind of like a Liam Neeson or like something.
You know, he's kind of like this same, he is the same type of actor.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of range to the things that he does. And you know, there's a couple factors with that. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson is never ever going to sound or look any other way than Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah.
You know, there just isn't that kind of range to him where you could take somebody like Gary Oldman.
He can fit into anything.
He can fit. He's like a doppelganger. He can just transform into anything that you need. So Charlie Hunnam, you know, his big breakout thing was Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And he is that same sort of character in all the different things that I've seen him in so far. He's the same way in the Pacific Rim. He was the same way in that Excalibur movie, you know, and he's just like this punk guy. He's like this punk sort of, you know.
Yeah, I feel like he was a little more clean cut in this movie than his other roles, but I see where you're getting at. Like, there's not a lot to him, but in the context of the movie, I think it works. I think it, you know, you can kind of look past. Kind of
It's not off-putting.
It's not.
Yeah.
But something I really enjoyed about this movie is like that the technology was pretty interesting. The fact that you have to have two people in a Jaeger and they have to kind of meld their minds together to be one. I thought that was pretty interesting. It's kind of funny because they're taking this very seriously, this giant robot, you know, punching a monster kind of thing. But it's good. Like once you put yourself in there and like accept everything, you're like, that's all you need. Like you're ready to go and you enjoy it. Yeah. So I'm very impressed with the fact that they got this to be an actually interesting and like almost charming movie. I'm excited for Pacific Rim 2. Excited for the characters to come back. Charlie Hunnam isn't in the new one though.
Charlie Hunnam's not in it, so we basically, because this looks like it's a good at least 10 years, 15 year. Wait,
I think this
doesn't
new
really
one
say. I mean, but this is a good at least 10 years plus after the end of Pacific Rim, the first one.
Yeah.
Because it looks like, you know, we have John Boyega, who plays the son of Idris Elba's character from the first one. So obviously, you know, this is going to be a little bit more in the future.
Yeah. And I find that really interesting because Pacific Rim literally came out 5 years ago. It was in 2013. Mm-hmm. And the fact that, because we get all these movies like Star Wars or like Blade Runner that come out 20 years after, and it's like, it's an actual gap, like where they bring back the old characters and they can be 20 years older and be believable. Yeah. But now it's 5 years later, and then we skipped a whole generation. We already went there, which I think is pretty interesting, but we'll see how it kind of plays out. The Jaeger design is all different. It seems like it's kind of streamlined and really a little more agile, I would say, in the new one.
Well, I mean, it looks like this is just going to be a CGI eye candy fest. You know, I mean, from all the trailers that I've seen, it's just riddled and packed with the robots, and it looks like the creature concept and even these gaijins. Is that what was it? The gaijins?
No, the kaiju.
Kaiju. Oh, gaijins. The kaiju are even bigger and just more ridiculous than ever.
Yeah,
so and like a sequel, bigger, badder, better.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, not necessarily better, but bigger, badder, more action.
Yeah, exactly.
And
one thing I actually really, really like the action and the monster versus like the kaiju versus Jaeger fights in the first one, and I liked it because it was dark and it was rainy and it really put you in that kind of mood. And what I noticed about the new the trailers of the new movie is it's all in daylight.
Yeah,
and also it's all in the city, which makes me a little bit nervous, just because whenever I see any movie like that, and they're just kind of smashing like Transformers or whatever, and they're just in the movie, in the middle of the city, just smashing everything, and there's no real concern for the real world aspects of that. Hey, bro, yeah, you're defending the city, but also you're destroying it. So what are you doing? And in the first Pacific Rim, they kind of make it a point to
keep them away from the city.
Keep them away from the city, and they even post one up just in case the first Jaeger doesn't take him down. They post one up even closer to the city just to make sure it does not get there. And so now that they're directly in the city, and there's literally a shot in the new trailer where there's 3 or 4 Jaegers, and they're all in squaring up, and they're just in the city, and then they're just running through the streets, and they're getting tossed around the buildings, destroying everything. That's my one main concern, is that they're gonna take this good movie
too far,
and they're gonna go too far.
Yeah.
But I'm intrigued enough to go see it and see for myself. But
I think it's kind of funny because we have 2 movies, kind of releasing around the same time. We have this one and we have Rampage, which is the new Dwayne Johnson one.
Well, that's coming out in about a month.
Yeah. But they're both coming out relatively, and Rampage is specifically from an old arcade game that is about monsters destroying a city.
Yeah.
So literally. It's I get that. It should be in the city.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see how much city destruction is in one movie versus the other. This is
how many times can you see buildings get knocked down and
I can watch that forever.
I can't.
I just need to see more bodies falling out of the building. Because it's always these empty buildings. It's no, man, I want to see bodies and people going everywhere. There's no time to evacuate. Let them all die. That's just dark.
I'm shaking my head. I don't agree. I can do without that.
You can do without that?
Yeah,
okay.
no.
All right.
But yeah, so yeah, that's a little bit concerning to me. Just I don't want them to go too far, because we're in an age of movies of going too far.
Yeah.
We have Rampage, we have Transformers, we have literally anything else, Power Rangers just came out as well. They were doing the same thing. We've kind of seen these big monster movies over and over and over again, but Pacific Rim was such a kind of breath of fresh air because it was good, actually.
It made a little bit more. I mean, in a little bit more sense. I mean, it's sci-fi robots fighting monsters, but I mean, in the context of what they were doing, it made more sense for them to kind of, push things. Hey, let's push things into unpopulated areas.
Yeah. Also the fact that Pacific Rim was government funded, and the world kind of came together to create these things to destroy the kaiju when they came, that is a better explanation than half of these other monster robot movies. It was a little more you could forgive the unrealistic aspects of it, because it was okay, at least you're attempting to explain it in a
more believable sense.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll see how this does.
I think it's going to be a fun movie. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near as good as the first one.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to be a big destruction fest.
Because of course Guillermo del Toro is not directing this new one.
Nope.
What is his name? Like Stephen DeKnight, I believe it is.
It is, yeah, Stephen DeKnight.
And he hasn't done any big movies before. He hasn't done any movies,
but he is not directed. So the only thing he's directed up to this point has been TV shows.
Okay.
So this is his first movie directorial debut, I guess you would say.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I mean, good luck. I'm rooting for him.
Yeah.
I want it to be a fun, good,
I would like movie. This to be good, yeah.
But I just hope it's just not a lot of CGI robot monster vomit destruction on a screen. It's like, okay, none of this made any sense.
Yeah.
And there's going to be these back and forth cut things between scientists trying to figure out something new and coming up with some kind of like whatever out of just like basically pulling it out of their ass.
And I want the action to be good, but I don't want it to be too cartoony, because that was one thing about the first Pacific Rim, is that like the action was actually really good, and I kind of found myself being like super excited by like him like them pulling out the sword and like slicing like the monsters and punching them and like it really gets your kind of inner kid out. And you're just like, yeah, punch that thing.
I loved it when he was walking, when the monster got to the city and he kind of like walked up and he had like the giant, the Freightliner, has like this big club and he's just dragging it behind him and he just starts beating it with his. I was like,
exactly,
that's brilliant.
In any other movie, that would have been like a little too much, right? But like you're
in this sense, it's like that makes that's
like
I like that. Cool. That works for me.
And I just saw the Honest trailer for Pacific Rim, and it's so funny because I think it really like hits it on the head. Like, he said like it's either the most awesome dumb movie ever made, or it's the dumbest awesome movie ever made. I'm like, yes, exactly. Yeah. Like it is dumb and it is awesome. Like that's exactly it. So,
it's hard to tick both those boxes and for you to walk away going, yeah, man, I'm cool. Yeah. I'm cool with spending my money on that. That was entertaining.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool beans.
Cool. All right. I think that might be about it.
That's about it.
Anything new? Anything you've been watching? Or,
I tore through. I got through the new Jessica Jones Netflix series.
How was that?
I enjoyed it.
Because
it was a little rough for me to get through. But I mean, that's things that I'm correlating with things that I have also been reading and watching at the same time.
Okay.
So there were parts of that was kind of rough for me to get through. I mean, it's good. For me, I think,
where's it kind of rank?
Daredevil and Punisher for me are still
up there,
neck and neck, number one. I mean, this is far better. It's not as good as the first season.
But better than Luke Cage.
Better than Luke Cage. Better. Fist. I mean, everything's better than Iron Fist.
Yeah.
At this point, but I mean, it's good.
I think
it's enjoyable viewing.
I think it's on my it's on my list, but there are a few shows that I need to get to before the second season comes out. Mm-hmm. So, like Legion, when I went to go see a movie. I went to go see Thoroughbreds this week. And it was a movie that I wasn't really sure about, but I wanted to go check it out. It was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about, but there was a preview for the new season of Legion, and I have not seen I've seen 2 of the 8 episodes of the first season. I just haven't gotten through it. I'm gonna have to start it over.
Was it the face as it was turning? All the faces were changing. Is that the
it was a full trailer. Like it was a full trailer. So I literally looked down and then just covered my ears and I was like, la la la. Like I could not. I was like, I can't see anything from this trailer because I need to watch the first season. And then also The Handmaid's Tale is coming out soon, and I need to get through the first season. I haven't watched that yet, so those are at the top of my list. So Jessica Jones can wait before or until after I get through those.
There's no rush on that.
No rush.
I went and saw Tomb Raider. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. Alicia Vikander did a great job. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good reboot to a video game movie.
See, I have there's no place in my heart for Tomb Raider. I have no history with it. I didn't play the game, didn't watch any of the movies. And then the only thing that this has going for it is Alicia Vikander for me. I mean, I love her. She's great. But I mean, as far as the Tomb Raider franchise, it doesn't have any kind of impact on me. So I think I could kind of pass on it, but I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I did see a preview for the second season of Legion right before it, and it wasn't like a preview where it was showing scenes. It was his face, and it did a full 180. Yeah, it does a full 180, and between the 180 arc, all the faces of his personalities are getting blended in, and it's brilliant the way they did it. And I was like, I'm so waiting for the second season.
Exactly. All right. Well, yeah, I think that
wraps it all up.
Yes, sir. All right, guys. We will see you next week. Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah.
And then the week after that is Ready Player One. Are you excited for that?
Actually, I am.
Because I heard some good stuff about it.
I've heard some good stuff. I haven't watched any of the reviews yet or any of the early impressions because for me, this is going to be a nostalgia movie for me because everything in this is just going to tick all my boxes.
It's a bunch of pop culture references.
You know? I mean, I am super. I think the most giddy part of it for me is going to be the Iron Giant part because. Yeah. I think that movie was so brilliantly done when it came out, and it was just a fantastic. And if you haven't seen that movie, that's a bucket list movie for me. It's so fantastically done. It's such a heartwarming, good story. And at the time, the animation was fantastic, and it still holds up today.
Oh yeah, it does.
You know, I'm actually now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna go and find it and watch it again.
Yes,
especially before Ready Player One. But I'm excited for it because, I think it's going to be not only a nostalgia movie with a whole bunch of references, but it's going to be another really close glimpse at where we're headed. With VR and with social media, especially.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how their vision and view of this is going to get played out. So
yeah, cool. All right, guys, we will catch you next time.
All right, guys, have fun.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Thank you all so much for listening to Post Production Podcast. If you'd like to reach the show, you can email us any questions or comments at postproductionpod@gmail.com.
You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram. All those links are in the description below.
And if you like this podcast, hit that subscribe button and let us know by leaving a rating and review on iTunes. We would really appreciate it. See you guys next time.